Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video I want to demonstrate that JavaScript functions are case sensitive, can be called at a later time, and can run multiple JavaScript statements. I've got a page set up, and I'm going to head over to my source code, and I want to start to type in a little bit of JavaScript. So I'm going to do this internally in the head section of the page, and I'm going to start off by declaring a function using the function keyword, and then I have to give my function a name. I'll just call it my function with an opening and closing set of parentheses. So function names are case sensitive, so you need to know how you spell them and use a very consistent syntax. I'm using camel case, where I start off with lowercase and then any subsequent words are uppercase, all scrunched up together. And then there's always a set of parentheses after. Now the parentheses isn't always empty in a function, but for this demonstration it is. And then there's a set of curly braces that follows the function. I'm going to press my enter key a few times because all the stuff you want to have happen when a function is triggered is going to occur between the opening and closing curly braces. Now you can kind of think of a function as kind of like an Excel macro, where it's a series of steps that are going to be triggered one by one when the function is run. So I'm going to have several things happen in this function. I'm going to declare a variable called x, and that's going to be equal to a string hello. I'm going to declare a variable called y, and now that's going to be equal to document.getElementById fname value. Now this doesn't exist yet, but in a moment I'm going to put a text box on my web page with the ID of fname. Basically, I want to prompt a user to enter some information in there, and I will let the variable z simply be equal to a string how are you doing. I'm going to declare the variable message, which is going to simply be equal to x plus y plus z. Basically, I'm concatenating all the various parts of this message together into one sentence or one question. I'm going to declare a variable again with const. It's going to be my output, and it's going to be equal to document.getElementById, and this is just going to be called, I guess, message output. Once again, I haven't created that yet. And then I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to hold off there because this will make more sense once we start to have some elements to manipulate. So I'll finish my function soon. The end of my curly braces is right down here. But let's run down to the HTML side of things, and let me create another section here. Now what I'm going to do with this one is I'll simply create a label, and I'm going to ask for the person's first name, and then I'll use an input type equals text, ID equals fname. Yeah, good enough. And I'm going to use an input type equals button with value equals display message. There we go. And I'm also going to have an output area. And for my output, I'm just going to use an h1, but I'm going to hide it from people. So I'll just slap an inline style display none on there. And I do need to give it an ID so that my JavaScript can find it easily. ID equals message output. Okay, so this h1 is empty and it's set to not even display, so it wouldn't even show up on the web page if there was text in there. So I'm going to head back to my function and kind of recap what I've done so far. I'm declaring a variable with hello and a space. I'm declaring another variable that's going to be the value of this first name text box whenever somebody types it in there. And I'm declaring a variable that's another string, which is the end of the question. I'm declaring a fourth variable that's a concatenation, the joining of all three parts of that message. I'm declaring a variable that represents my output headline 1 block. And now I'm going to take this output style display equals block, basically one of the CSS display properties, or display values, and then output inner HTML equals message. All right, and then I'm all done with that excess space there. So I'm declaring several variables to construct a message to the user. And then I'm going to display that headline output area, and I'm going to insert the message which I've constructed in between the opening and closing h1 tags in this example. So there's a lot of statements for this function. Now I just need to call the function. This one I'm going to call inline right inside of the button itself. I'm just going to do an onClick equals my function. So now when this button is clicked, the my function is going to be called. I'll head over to my browser, refresh. I start to see some content on here. Should be able to type in my first name and click display message. And that displays right over here on the right. Don't be put off by all the lowercase letters. That's simply because of some CSS styling that I have native. Hello, Ralph. How are you doing? Fantastic. Type in a different name, display message, and we have that output over there. So there we go. So that's a pretty simple function. Use the function keyword, give your function a name with a set of opening and closing parentheses, and then a set of curly braces to contain all of the stuff you want to have do. And now you simply JavaScript statement one by one on what you want to have happen in the order that you want it to happen. In this example, declare variables, show some output on the browser in the body of the page, and of course insert that message into that output area. Take care.